I wanted to tell a more complete history of the Chinese in America. My name is Brian Tom. I'm the founder and director of the Chinese American Museum of Northern California here in Marysville.
Every first Saturday of the month, you'll find Brian giving people tours through time.
These are Chinese exports to America.
The focus of his museum is on the forgotten history of Chinese settlers in America, with exhibits that offer what Brian calls an inside-out narrative, rather than the common outside-in narrative.
Here's the outside-in narrative. Ocean of bitter dreams. The Chinese must go and entry denied. But what was really going on in Chinese America? They're going to school, they're having baby contests, none of which is reflected in the narrative that's shown there.
He says the myths of Chinese American history begin with the gold rush, when Chinese pioneers first came to California to mine, including his grandfather.
He joined the California Gold Rush in 1850-01. 25% of the miners in California in 1860 were Chinese, and by 1870, it became 58%.
Chinatowns, like what remains of this one in Coloma, extended from Downeyville all the way down to Mariposa along Highway 49. Stores, banks, and schools were established in these mining areas to create thriving settlements.
Every one of these small towns in the lower mountains had a Chinatown.
Most have since been destroyed or abandoned. Brian says little exists to remind people of the importance of Chinese settlers in early state history.
If you look and study the photographs carefully, you'll see much better than some of the written history of what the life of Chinese Americans was like for the past 150 years. You'll see pictures of people celebrating, they're going to banquets, they're doing a lot of different things. But it wasn't all a question of cheap labor or they're working on the railroad.
The broader picture Brian paints tells the story of success among Chinese settlers. The gold they found helped to finance a reform movement, then a revolution in China, and then lent to successful businesses in California, like his grandfather's shop that stood in Marysville for more than 100 years.
He had 9 children, and all his children were born in that building. If all you've heard about your history is that you were poor and willing to do anything for a couple of dollars, that doesn't instill pride in you. But if you see the broader picture, then perhaps you have a better understanding of your heritage.